All right, at the beginning of turn 7, those are your victory conditions for the Axis. In turn 6, the Axis did not gain any, so they're still at 12. The top 4 across are in no way safe or secure. All 4 of those, are in jeopardy. They are sitting on the cusp of getting another one this turn in Leningrad. We'll come over here and do German turn after we look at the buys. A lot of infantry being bought for, whoops, was off target there. A lot of infantry being bought for everyone, really. Trying to shore up their defenses. Canada on attack with that transport. And Anzac as well, with transports, so with the U.S. But this is the part of the game where they've got to start taking stuff back and securing spots for their victory. Alright, so let me twist it just a hair. Well, I'm just going to go really wide here because I'm going to be bringing the amphib on the north. So let's turn right there. That should get us. Alright, so Germany's attacks. Leningrad with all 3 territories coming in. We're going to try and take the Ukraine. Probably won't hold it. And we're going to do an amphibious assault on Archangel, because the Russians are going to pay to move that factory again. But if we can snag that and take that factory, that stops that shenanigans. And it also gives us a factory for the next turn to build some units on if we need to. There are 2 turns left. 7, 8. So it's really 7, 8, 9. So Germany has 3 moves left. That being 1, they would have to build there, and then I guess so if you build tanks, they could rush into Moscow if that was one of those paths was open. But so let's move some attacks. Down here in northwestern Iran, may or may not be in the viewfinder, infantry and artillery going up against 1 British soldier. Here we're going to bring 2 tanks that come through the Italian lines, and then we're going to paratroop 2 infantry. The bomber has 2 left. These 2 planes are joining in, and they have 3 left. Up north here, we're going to send a fighter and a tactical. They have 2 moves left. This Stuka here is going to go into Leningrad with 2 left. This bomber, since I'm taking all its troops for amphib, is just going to come in and attack once and leave. And a Stuka from the same zone, but we'll only have 1 left. Alright, so there we're going to grab these 2 infantry and tank, sail along Finland, grab another infantry, and go into Archangel here. 3 infantry, a tank. We'll have an amphib or a shore bombardment from a cruiser and a destroyer. Cruiser and a battleship. The destroyer is staying behind with the subs in case I'm going to have a possible attack on the Allies down there. Alright, so that's all that movement. I will line up all the infantry here. There's 6, 8. I have a total of... Alright, so I got a total of 2, 4, 6. 6 artillery. So we'll put those there. Those will be the... you know what? I think I'm going to take an infantry and artillery and attack this Belarus individual. I'll mark that with that. So now that gives me 5 infantry instead of 6 that are boosted. So there's the 5 boosted. And these are all the infantry that are coming in unboosted at 1s. And then I will have 3 tanks at 4. Now, let me think if I need 3 tanks at 4. There is 6, 10, 11 infantry there. I'll have 2. Yeah, I'm going to send 2 tanks in, and we'll non-com that other stuff based off how other battles go there in the south. Alright, so, and there's no battles in Africa or the Europe side other than the Eastern Front. So let me put that there, which I believe is in the zone. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like the Middle East is in the picture there, so I'll do that one first. 2 Germans. Infantry, artillery, 1 hit. British fire back, no hits. All right. So that is good for Germany. The next attack, I got 2 1s, 3 4s, and a 3. So I'm not going to do a target select here. I'll need 4 hits, only needed 2. Here's where you gotta hope you survive, and you do. Alright, Belarus, infantry, artillery, 1 hit. Russian, no hits. Alright, that means I'm gonna be slaughtered in one of these northern battles. I feel it coming. Alright, we'll do the amphib first. I got a 3 and a 4. On the amphib, I got a heavy tank and a Stuka. There's a fighter, 3 infantry. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Russian units there. 4 hits. So everything's gone but 1 artillery. Alright, so I only have 3 green dice on this side. That's nice. Alright, well, there's 3 of the 5. There's 1 hit. Second hit. So 2 hits for the Germans. Alright, well, they should take that. They got a 1, 2 4s, and a 3 because the shore bombardment is over. 3 hits. So I'll give $1 back to Russia because they don't need to move a factory that's not there. Or you know what? I'm going to trade it out for an infantry. Or make one of the infantries and artillery. That'll be that extra $1. And the Russian return fire, no. Alright. So there are 3 planes going into Leningrad. They have 1 anti-aircraft gun. Dang. Well, I wonder if I should lose the bomber. I think I will. Although, I may need to ferry some troops here at the end. Well, the Stuka's only 11 and the bomber's 12, so we'll lose the bomber. Alright, so on the offensive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 1s, of which I have 5 here. Alright, 5, no hits. 4, no hits. Thanks for participating there. Alright, and artillery, we got 5. I'm going to have to grab some more dice. Alright, so 5 artillery, boosting 5 infantry. So here's 5, 2 hits. Next 5, 2 more hits. So that's 4 total that are gone. we've got 2 tanks and 2 Stukas, so that's 4 and 4. 4 hits. That was pretty glorious. Leaving a total of, oh wait a minute, we got an AA gun. So that means we lost 4 the first round and 4 the second, so that would be a total of 8. So I need 1 more chip. So that leaves 4 infantry that survived. But now, so that would be 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got 11 twos returning fire. 2 hits. 3 hits. 4 hits. So that would be 6 total. Spank. Alright. There's that destruction I was telling about. 4, 6. Alright. I should not have a problem cleaning up that last 3 guys. You never know. 3 at 1, 4 at 4. 3 hits. Oh, that leaves 1, so they got 1 left. So my 2s are going to have to get 1 hit. There it is. Alright, and Russia has 4 returning fire, and they get 2. So that will make this gray, or green, a gray. The wonderful world of chipping out. Alright, so Germany did take a beating in Leningrad, but taking Archangel and Belarus, there's no real effort for the Russians to come back and get that. Alright, so this plane is going to have to land there. This one will have 2 left. We'll also land him there. Matter of fact, all the planes will land there. Alright, so what other planes? We got these planes here. We'll land in Vesavaria, just so they're close to the front line. This bomber's going to come back to, where can I rail these? 1, 2, 3, Romania. So I'm going to rail 2 guys from Paris into Romania, so that if I want to the next turn, I can move those, parachute them, air transport them somewhere. Alright, so before I get carried away with the rest of those non-coms, Germany goes up 2, 3, 4, 7. Russia goes down 7. Alright. I think I need a marker down here because that's British, right? Yep. Doesn't look like they'll hold that unless the Russians decide they can't afford to go down into northern Iran again. Alright, so get our reds out of here. Let's move all our infantry in there, which we are down to 6 infantry, 5 artillery. Oh, there was a 7th. I don't think I rolled that guy the whole time. Alright, factory captured. Russians undoubtedly will have to take that back. So I've got this tank, these 2 tanks that didn't move. I think we can drive this tank 1, 2, and park it there, but I think we're going to do that because then that's going to force Russia to go one of 2 directions because they don't have the forces to go both. So we'll drive these 2 into there. So I should have had them in on the attack, but I didn't know how these attacks were going to go. We're going to rail the Yugoslavian armor and infantry up into western Ukraine to join the Italians. Got a tank in Berlin that can rail to join them there as well. And the only thing in the Med, we're going to bring that transport back to the sea zone by Yugoslavia. 2 infantry move into Iraq, and that will be it for Germany's turn. On to Russia. Oh, let's place the goods while we're here. We're going to fly one of these fighters down. I forgot I built a fighter. We're going to fly one of those fighters down to Rome. We're going to have to help out our Italian buddies. Alright, we're going to build 3 infantry in France. We're going to build 2 infantry, tank and an artillery here. And then Yugoslavia, we're going to need I wonder if we should just put all our tanks south. No, let's leave one there. Move that mech up here and put an infantry there. Alright, so put 4 more infantry there. Or not. Let's put 3 there and 2 there. Alright, that looks like it for Germany. They're going to get a bigger payday now. Their national objectives 5, 10, 15, 22. And they have 53, so that would be 75. Oh, but they have another objective now, Leningrad. That would be an extra $5. This is the part of the game where Russia is worn down by German economic power, unless the Allies can make some pressure over here on the west. Alright, big decision time. If we go down into northern Iran, there's plenty of Italians to destroy that. So I think, what could we could counterattack here. 2 artillery, 2 tanks. But you know what, if we lose everything, we are hosed. I think it might be best just to block. Of course, Italy's they've got 2 tanks and a mech. Can't open either one of these zones for us. Now, we're going to have to hit up here. We're going to send the tank, 2 artillery, and the 2 planes. Oh, you know what? I can send 2 infantry with that bomber as a paratrooper. Second thought, I don't need to hold that. I just need to take it. So we'll use the plane and the bomber. We just want to prevent Germany from building next turn. And if worst comes to worst, I lose the bomber, because that's not going to be very helpful for Russia at this stage of this game. So down here we will just non-com and do some blocking, and hopefully that pans out. Alright, so on the offensive. Archangel. 2 2s, 2 4s, and a 3. Oh crap, 1 hit. That is not good. Not good for the Russians. So that's a German infantry down. Oh, 1 back. We're going to lose that bomber, like I said. You know what? So if I lose that and they get 2 hits, we don't get it. So I got to lose the bomber, which is okay. All right, a 2 and, or 2 2s and a 4 and a 3. Oh, only 1 hit again. 2 German tanks, 2 hits. So 1 on 1. All right, so a 3 and a 4, 1 hit. German tank. Yep, that was their opportunity right there. So that offensive worked out well for Russia. Ending the Archangel build next turn. So let's reposition. The fighter can go back, obviously. We want to get our tanks out of harm's way for the moment. Move all that to Moscow. It goes up. We can rail 3 from Moscow here, so we're going to send 2 there and march 1. We're going to hope that those Italians can't get the job done. You know what? Let's do this differently. We're going to march 3 and rail. So there wasn't 1. So we're railing 3 to Rostov. And we're going to march 3 into Bryansk. Make it 4. That way the Italians have to work for it. All right, these 2 drive 2. We're going to rail this artillery there. And they can have Amur. We're going to slide everybody into Siberia. Japan still only has 1 transport in the Japan Sea Zone. Alright, so placement of units. I don't know if I've got enough slots now here. Let's see. I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I can place 13, so that was good. So we're going to place 2 infantry to go with that artillery down there, and the rest, everything into Moscow. Alright, so that should be good. Let's do some Russian money, and you know what? The Japan should have declared war and cut off this Lend-Lease. Russian Lend-Lease is a 1 again, which is an artillery in Amur or Archangel. Well, I own Archangel, so I will put an artillery in Amur. And I will declare that a victory. Alright, so Russian money. They still have, nope, they don't have the Ukraine, so they are out of national objectives. So they are just straight up $22, and that is not good. Britain can offer no assistance other than 1 fighter. So that means the next turn Russia will be dogpiling infantry. But on the flip side, Germany does not look like they have the forces to overcome that anyway. Alright, next turn Britain will pause and set that up. Alright, so here's Britain turn 7. No attacks on the Europe side. We're going to send this bomber up to London. And we're going to send these 2 cruisers into the Med. try and stave off a Italian Navy assault. The Allies have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighters they can scramble, so I can't believe there would be an assault. We will move some guys here in Africa. We'll fly that plane. We're going to fly it to the middle for now. And these guys are going to march up one. And the fighter here is going to head into Moscow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will probably be the extent of the British aid to the Russians. Down here, though, we are, back it up just a hair. There we go. We're going to start to press the Japanese Navy. So let me grab the dice tray, because the British super battleships have sat idle long enough. We're going to head into Celebes with these 2 cruisers. The transport will come in with an infantry and an artillery. So we should be able to defeat that destroyer. And then the other attack would be, let's see if this fighter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we can send a fighter, tactical, and 2 guys. We'll save that artillery into Burma, play that game again. And I don't know that that's in the, there we go. Alright, so basically that's it for Britain. Let's roll that Burma battle there. Got 2 1s. We'll do a target select first just to see, and it works. Alright, so that'll be 1 down. Alright, so the next battle is the 2 cruisers and 2 heavy battleships, or super battleships, against the Japanese destroyer, and the destroyer will be the green die. Destroyer gets a hit, so on the tech for super battleships, the battleship can take 1 hit with no effect. So this battleship will have 1 hit on it, and it still has 2 to go. Alright, so Japanese ships are out of there. Alright, the land battle. 2 2s for Britain. 1 hit. 1 2 for Japan. Nothing. Alright. Well, that will be 4 up for Britain and 4 down for Japan. I believe that is all the attacks we got going. Let's see, we're going to land these planes here. They are on the ground. Ships are in that sea zone. We're going to follow up with some other attacks by Anzac and the US on this turn and try and put the vice grips on Japan. And as far as the British placements of their purchases, they're putting, I'll move this back because Italy is going to be next. I'm going to put 5 more guys into Calcutta, and then down below in South Africa, infantry, artillery, tank. Knock that guy off. All right, that will be the end of Britain's turn. So they ended up with $27, and they've lost all their objectives. That is it, $27 straight up. All right, so for Italy, what to do? Well, take that one. That is really, no one has any objectives for that territory, and it's not worth anything, but does keep Britain from sending stuff to that zone next turn, you know, via rail or whatever. All right, so there are no British transports in the area. Down here, I think we're just going to do, oh, we are going to do an attack. I forgot. I should have marked it with the British. So these 3 Italian units are going up against 3 Russian infantry. So there will be a 1 and 2 3s for the 2 Italian tanks. 1 hit. Russia defends. 1 hit. Alright, so we'll get rid of the infantry. 1. And the mech is gone. 2 tanks. 2 hits. So Russia is clear. And 1 back. So that leaves 1 Italian unit there. Which is kind of nice because they're going to get the $2 for that territory. They could use some money. But that drops Russia all the way down to $20 now. So that is not good for that. I need to get a roundel there. I think as far as the movements go, we're going to use this bomber and ferry 2 more guys over onto Malta, because we're going to try and hold those islands, you know, the Mediterranean island point. So that'll be a total of 5 infantry on the island. So let me put a gray chip there. Alright, so there's the 5. And I took 2 of that green chip over. Alright, I'm going to leave that destroyer there, but I'm going to send that transport back here. And I don't think, well, we got these guys, so we'll move 1 space. I kind of have to leave those guys in Iran. I'll back these up 1 and the tank into there. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so Italy up to 26 on the board with objectives of 2, 4, and they have the 3 for another 5, so that's 9. So that'll be 35 for Italy. Alright, so now it is Canada and Anzac, and they are finally going to get some action going here. Let's move those out of the way. They are all in Gibraltar. Canada is going to be the belligerent. They are going to attack the Iberian Neutral Alliance by hitting Portugal. So that was the transport that came down for that. I've got this transport here that comes up with 2 infantry. There is at this airbase a fighter. And all the transports for Germany are away from London, so we'll send this one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 2 fighters. Now the big question is, I want to bring in, I guess I could, another infantry and artillery. And we'll just save the rest there in that zone. Alright, so attacking Portugal while they were doing nothing. So in this setup, when you attack one of the neutral blocks, on this particular one, Portugal, Spain, and then Portugal's territories in Africa, they can either turn Germany or Italian. Right now it doesn't matter because Italy's already gone, Germany's already gone, so no one's going to collect any money for them this turn. So we'll just say, for grins, Italy, because they could use a few extra dollars. No. Can only find the one roundels. There we go. Trying to keep it all the same Italian roundels. So I'll put that there for grins. And we've got two fighters. We have an infantry artillery pair. We have a tank. And then we have 3 infantry at 1. Alright, just need 2 hits. There we go. That's all we got was 2 hits. And Portuguese caught unaware. Oh, they do get 1 back. Alright, goodbye Canadian. Goodbye Portuguese. Alright, so Canada gets to put out a roundel. It doesn't happen too often. So they go up $1. And you're probably wondering why in the world would Canada do that? Well, U.S. is going to invade Spain, so the Spanish beachhead is coming. Alright, so that will be it for Canada. They will drive the tank and mech 2 more. And their placement: infantry, artillery, transport. So they got another load coming for the next round. So let's go over and see what Anzac has up there. Well, you know what, while we're here, we always skip France, but France is technically supposed to go before Canada and Anzac. So France will advance everybody up. You know what? Why move into there and get attacked by the Italians? We'll wait there a second. But we are going to pull that sub out of that convoy zone. I keep forgetting to roll that sub in convoying Normandy, but when I'm doing the buys, I see it and I roll, and it is yet, I don't think, to even take $1 from Germany. So we're going to bring it back here for defense, or even possible a French naval assault on Italy, or the Italian fleet, I should say, wherever it may be. Alright, so France is done. You know what? Or if they should move that fighter down. I think they will. They can always go back if there's some sort of threat for London. So, if you look at France, you got a battleship, a cruiser, a destroyer, a sub, 2 fighters, a transport, and an infantry there in the Gibraltar and the accompanying sea zone. They can actually do something. Alright, coming over to this side, we have, went too far. Alright, so we got Anzac. They are coming up with a destroyer. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, Japanese transport. I did not see that when I did Japan's turn yesterday. My bad. Alright, the other destroyer comes up to the Marianas with 2. transports, 2 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank. Marianas is not worth anything, but in this setup it has a naval base on it, which will be huge because usually the Americans, will come here to Caroline or Queensland for that naval, either one of those naval bases, but they come right over and sit on that, drop some fighters in there. Well, there's no air base, so the fighters in there don't matter. Oh, no, that's on Guam. Alright, and that is it for their combat. I am going to do some non-com here, but let's do the combat first. So there's no naval bombard because it's just just 1 destroyer. So we have a 1, 2 2s, and a 3 versus a Japanese infantry and anti-aircraft gun. 1 hit. So the anti-aircraft gun is gone. Japan returns fire. Nothing. Fire again for Anzac. Oh, complete miss. Japan. Now they're blowing it. They could have really cleaned house. There's the last hit. Will Japan get anything? No. Thank you, Japan, for participating. Alright. So a round goes out, but no points exchange. It's more of a strategic position. But 2 fully loaded transports on a naval base and followed up by the U.S. Well, I guess Japan could maybe take that back, maybe. We'll have to see. Alright, so the non-com. This bomber carrying these 2 infantry from New Zealand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lands on Celebes. And we're going to throw 2 fighters in there. And so we're stacked there in Celebes. Might be stacked in Marianas, but I think they're going to lose their transports there. Japan's going to take those. But they built a plane, infantry, and another transport. Alright. Alright, those 2 planes can't get back here if I need them. Well, the US will be up there. In theory, of course. Alright, so that is the end of that. I will set up for Japan coming up shortly. Alright, it's Japan's turn 7. There's a couple mistakes. I should have paid down damage. There was 11 damage on that factory, so I could not put 5 infantry there, so I had to take 2 infantry off and buy down 6 damage, and so it's at 5 damage now. It'll have more because these 2 bombers are coming back. I didn't put a marker on it, but that's going to happen. The other one, I probably should have let US take the Marianas, just so that those Anzac ships would not be destroyed by Japan like they are right now. But if you look at, you can see the B-29s. They're going to drop the atomic bombs, so the Allies have to have the Marianas. They just do. So either way, that is where we're at there. I think there we go. Alright, so we'll back it up and we will do the attacks. There's no need to show that, well, I'll do these down here first and then move it over there to the middle. So for The factory strategic bombardment, the anti-aircraft shots are no good. The bombers roll 6, so that'd be 10. So that's going to have 15 damage now on that factory. That's going to really hurt Britain. The other attack is, you know, all these guys are heading in. So, you know, I'd like to think that they can get that. So what is that? 3 artillery. Line those up. 2 infantry and a mech. So that'll be 6 at 2. I'll bring that, and 3 at 3. And then we'll drive that in afterwards and as a non-com, because there's no planes in there. So let's roll what I got. Here's three tanks and 3 of the 2s, and I got 2 hits. So here is the British return fire. 2 hits. All right, well, hooray for the British. All right, so the 2 Japanese infantry. So that'll leave 3, 4, 7, 8 units in there. So Britain's going to have to decide whether they're going to go all out attack, but kind of if they don't, they might lose Calcutta here. Alright, so what are the other attacks? Oh, the other attacks are out here in the ocean. But before I get here, while I have the camera, I'm just going to move. Just going to reposition my guys up here. And these 2, I'm going to leave these 2 tanks here because these bombers are coming back to land. I am putting a buy there. I'm still going to leave them there so that they don't get a little crazy thoughts with that British transport. But we're going to fly these planes over here, land 1 on the carrier, 2 on the Philippines, or 3 on the Philippines for a possible scramble. And then this transport will head back to Japan. We're going to bring this destroyer up. These 2 guys are going to head up into Shan State. I'm going to leave 2 there. And I have 2 tanks here. What will they do? They can rail the Yunnan. You know what? We put them there. Well, no, a lot can attack them there. Looks to me like China's coming back. Alright, so I will move this. All the non-coms have been done there. Now we can see the 2 attacks. We're going to do a attack on Wake Island, which right in the middle of that American fleet looks crazy, but that gives the Axis another victory condition. Not that I think they're going to hold that one. Where is it here? It is the Pacific Islands. There it is. So that puts them up to 14. So U.S. will have to decide to take that back or what. Alright, so the attack here is that sub and then all 9 airplanes. So that's the doom for the Anzac Navy there. The sub will be at 2. I've got 1, 2, 3 tacticals. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, here's everything but 3 fighters. Oh, only 1 hit. So I got to have these 3 fighters get that second hit on those transports. There we go. Alright, so Anzac gets to defend with a 2 for the destroyer and a 1 for the 2 transports. Nothing. Alright, so they didn't get to defend at all. Alright. So in non-com, we're going to bring this destroyer down here. Take away any bombardments. That's there. Basically, we're going to return the planes. And that's going to be it for Japan. We're going to place their units down here in French Indochina. Is going to be 2 tanks and an artillery. I say that. 2 tanks and an infantry. Alright, in Hong Kong is going to be, not Hong Kong, but Shanghai. 2 infantry. Infantry and artillery. 2 destroyers, and I had a fighter, yes. Oh, I also had 2 more artillery, I didn't see them, so one of those will go in Shanghai and the other up here in Japan. Alright, that will be it for Japan. This does give them 3 national objective and another 3, so that'll be 6 for that, and then they have Burma for 5, so that's 11 in objectives. They're at $50, so that puts them at 61. So not really terribly high, but not shabby either. So, but they're about to be pinched between the British and U.S. navies here. Let's go ahead and do the U.S. turn while we're here, and then we'll slide over to China, provided we don't forget. So to attack this, we're going to send in 3 subs, and that's getting, you know, each warship can block 3 ships. So these 3 are going to be blocked. But you know what? It doesn't need to be a block because I'm not moving through to attack. So that could be non-com. But I do have to clear it. So let's just put one of those old class submarines in there. We have 4 fighters and 2 tacticals joining in, so that should be more than enough to get the job done on that transport, or that destroyer, I mean. So we got a sub at 2, we've got 4 fighters, 2 tacticals. We'll roll that for 3 hits. Japan has a destroyer, nothing. Alright, so that will be the end of that. So those ships now are gone. And these will all just come. Oh, there is a sub there. I guess I could ignore the sub since it's non-com. You know what? I got destroyers though. Let's redo that turn, because, well, or we can just say we had the 3 going in there to kill that, like I was going to do with all those planes, and then all these ships with the destroyers are attacking that sub. So basically that sub is a goner. There's 4 destroyers there, 2 battleships, 2 cruisers. Alright, and this sub or destroyer here, I'm gonna leave. And then the planes land on the carrier that just attacked that transport. And the other 2 planes will land back here. We'll bring our 1 transport and our guy and artillery. Alright, so I'll roll a 1 for that Japanese sub. And nothing. It would just been a hit on the battleship anyway. Or, well, maybe not. It might have been something else. So, to recap what just happened there, the Japanese destroyer blocks 3 ships on a combat move. So those 3 ships, all the planes attacked this. They were successful, so that allowed this attack to happen on this sub by all the destroyers, battleships, and those 2 cruisers. So now they were all you know what? I wonder. Okay, well, I can non-combat. So that's where we are there. So it puts 2 sizable fleets in the Pacific, and the U.S. has some ships coming back here. There's a counterpunch. So basically it's going to be up to Japan's super carriers. Can they carry the day here? And if it ends up being one of those wipeouts where Japan and US wipes each other out, then Britain's going to have a heyday there. Of course, they only have 1 transport, so there's not a ton they can do. Alright, so China, there is 1. Everything else is going into Hope. And they're going to go into Kiwichao. Well, I won't take that off yet because they may actually lose that one. Alright, so we'll do the little one first. 2 2s, no hit. Japan. Oh, see? Look at that. Guy went off the table. Alright, China hits. So does Japan. Japan holds. Alright. So here we had all those. You know what? I should have used that fighter there because this was going to be... Alright, well, I got way ahead of myself and didn't think that one through. So here is 3 of the 4 6-2s. Alright, here's the other 3. Oh, for crying out loud. And here's a 3 for that Chinese tank. Tank hits. Thanks for doing something. Alright, Japan fires back with a miss. Alright. So really only Japan's down 2. Because that other attack failed miserably. Alright, so we have this bomber in Calcutta. Trying to think where it can go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can go back to this air base here in Queensland. Because we're going to go over to the Hawaiian Islands, I think, and grab 2 more guys for another assault. We'll come over here now for the assault on Spain. Alright, so what do we have in here? We don't have any transports here, so all the forces coming in They're going to come from the U.S. besides these planes. So we got a tactical, 2 fighters, 3 heavy bombers, 4 transport loads. I'm just going to set them out there in the ocean for now. Alright. So now we've got our assault. We only have 1 bombardment shot from a cruiser. Let me grab some dice. Probably ought to get on the other side of the table here. Alright, so we got a bombardment shot. And then we've got 2 fighters, 1 tactical. We got 2 tanks. We have 2 artillery boosting 2. We have 2 infantry at 1. So that is everything except for the 3 heavy bombers. I will get to that roll after these. Alright, there's a big stack in Spain there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so that leaves 3 infantry, 2 tanks, a fighter, and 3 artillery. But wait, there's more. The heavy bomber tech for the US, each bomber rolls 4 two-sided dice, or 2 hit dice. So they get 4 rolls at 2, 4 rolls at 2, 4 rolls at 2 to carpet bomb, and then they're done. So the first one, well, first one gets 1. Hoping for more than that, actually. Second one, just another 1. Alright, last one, 2. Alright, so not exactly all that exciting. They did get a total of 4 hits though. So I forgot what I got here on the chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 twos. So here's 5, which is 1. 2. There's the last 3. 4. Now there is 2 tanks and a fighter. So 6. So the US loses 6. Well, that's going to be punishing. Well, we'll lose the 4 guys for sure, and the 2 artilleries. All right. So that means Germany or Italy is going to have a good opportunity. Well, it won't be Italy because Britain can reinforce Spain. Honestly, the only thing Germany has that can get in there is those 3 infantry. Over there you go. All right. So the bombers are done. I'm going to send 1 back, and the other 2 here are going to land in Gibraltar. So I'll leave them off to here for now. All right, so 2 tanks, 2 fighters, tactical, 4 hits. That's, well, they have 5. So Spain is down to 1 aircraft. Alright, so they had 2 2s, 2 3s, and a 4. 1 hit. That sucks. They were trying to get into the planes. They're still probably going to get into the planes because the US has to take Spain. Alright, so they have 3 3s and a 4. 1 hit. Wow, that's all I needed, but man, that was close. Alright, take a plane. Yep, so the US loses a plane.
So they will lose that tactical because they still want that scramble ability from Gibraltar. Alright, so the U.S. is firmly in control of Spain. I say firmly, they have one tank. So I gotta believe 3 infantry and some fighters from Germany can take that back. So, oh yeah, these were gonna land in Gibraltar, which makes for a big mess there in Gibraltar. But I might want them to bomb Italy here, so I'll leave them on the Portugal side. Alright, well, that will be the end of that. Oh, yeah, I got some units to place. On the Pacific side, I've got a destroyer, sub, transport, infantry, artillery. And on the eastern U.S., I have 2 fighters, 2 transports, 2 infantry, tank, and artillery. And if Germany does take that back, the U.S. still has all these forces in Morocco to come over. Or for that matter, Canada might just take it back, who knows. Although the U.S. could build there a little better than Canada could. So that will be the end of round 7. Look at the victory objectives. So they're up to 14, but they're hanging on by a thread on 1, 2, 3, 4. So they just need 12, and it is rounds 8's coming up, and that's where the IPCs stand at the end of round 7. All right. Next will be Germany, round 8.